The worst fall-off in YouTube history. Unless you've been living under a rock, there's a good chance you've heard of freshAndFitPodcast. For anyone living under a rock, here's a recap. Welcome to Miami, the city of dreams, luxury, and nightlife. Amidst the glitz and glamour, one podcast rose to fame, promising to deliver the ultimate truth about dating, fitness, and success. This is the story of the rise and fall of the Fresh and Fit podcast. Is this the worst fall-off in YouTube history? Today, we'll take an in-depth look into one of the most controversial duos on YouTube. The Fresh and Fit podcast, a creation of Myron and Walter Weeks, also known as Fresh Prince CEO, emerged in 2020, among a slew of podcasts that was created during the global pandemic. The podcast promised to be a beacon for young men navigating the tumultuous waters of modern dating and self-improvement. Leveraging their distinct backgrounds, Myron as a former federal agent and Walter as an entrepreneur with a flamboyant lifestyle, the duo quickly gained a reputation for their candid, often controversial takes on relationships, masculinity, and success. Their straightforward, sometimes abrasive approach resonated with many, propelling the podcast to rapid popularity. At its core, Fresh and Fit was built on the premise of offering unfiltered advice on dating and personal development. The hosts frequently invited women to their show, engaging in debates and discussions that often highlighted the differences in dating expectations and experiences between men and women. This format, coupled with their bold opinions, created a magnetic allure for viewers seeking raw, unapologetic content. The podcast's subscriber base grew exponentially, feeding off the viral clips and heated debates that regularly surfaced online. The rise of Fresh and Fit was also fueled by the hosts' adept use of social media. They showcased a lifestyle filled with luxury cars, upscale apartments, and glamorous parties, embodying the success they preached. This aspirational image attracted a following eager to emulate their lifestyle, further cementing their status as influencers in the self-help and dating spheres. The podcast's content was not just about dating, it delved into fitness, financial advice, and personal growth, creating a holistic appeal for their predominantly young male audience. However, the very elements that drove their success also sowed the seeds of their downfall. The podcast's blunt and often controversial content began to draw criticism from various quarters. Accusations of misogyny, toxic masculinity, and the exploitation of female guests became increasingly common. Critics argued that the advice dispensed by Gaines and Weeks was not only flawed, but also harmful, perpetuating negative stereotypes and fostering a disrespectful attitude towards women. Despite the growing backlash, the hosts remained defiant, often doubling down on their statements. Their public responses to criticism were seen as dismissive and unapologetic, which only served to fuel further outrage. The situation reached a tipping point when a major scandal involving one of the hosts surfaced. Allegations of unethical behavior and personal misconduct emerged, casting a long shadow over the Fresh and Fit brand. One particular scandal involving Fresh Prince CEO and fitness influencer Daisy Chen was the final nail in the coffin. Fresh and Daisy were in a monogamous romantic relationship earlier this year for a couple months. Fresh and Chen's relationship seemed very serious as Fresh introduced Chen to his mother and family in Barbados, where Fresh is from. At one point, Chen became pregnant and told Fresh he was the father of her unborn child. To the dismay of Chen, Fresh became cold and asked that she abort the child as he was not ready to become a father. The public nature of the scandal and the podcast host's reaction to the incident led fans who had once ardently supported the show to turn their backs on Fresh and Fit. They found it difficult to reconcile their admiration with the troubling revelations. The trust and loyalty they had built over time eroded quickly, leaving the podcast in a precarious position. Since their YouTube demonetization in April and the ensuing scandals, the once vibrant energy of their episodes gave way to a noticeable decline in enthusiasm and viewership. The podcast went from boasting more than 500,000 views on their late-night shows to barely 50,000 views. The rise and fall of the Fresh and Fit podcast is a quintessential tale of the volatility of internet fame. It underscores the importance of accountability and the potential consequences of controversial content in the digital age. While Gaines and Weeks enjoyed a meteoric rise to prominence, their story also serves as a cautionary tale about the responsibilities that come with influence. The Fresh and Fit podcast's legacy is a complex one. On one hand, it provided a platform for discussions about modern dating and masculinity that resonated with a significant audience. On the other hand, it highlighted the risks of promoting divisive and potentially harmful viewpoints. In the end, the podcast's downfall was a result of a combination of external scrutiny and internal missteps, a reminder that in the quest for truth and success, integrity and respect are paramount.